My next guest is a legend. He's a legend of Irish music who's been involved in show business for the last 50 years. Now, very, very specially, I have to say that Bob Dylan described this man as the best ballad singer he had ever heard. It is an absolute pleasure, I have to say, to welcome him back onto the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Liam Clancy.
Those were the days, my friend, when they never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. Those were the days, my friend, when they never end. For we were young, and yes, those were the days. Get up, guys!
Hey,
Welcome, Liam.
great bunch. Poor John, he was shaking in his bunny skin back there. And then he comes out and performs like a pro.
He was
I thought
good.
it was brilliant.
You could take him on board next time you're in the concert.
Bloody right. Anything that works.
Since we last met, you're getting all these accolades. You've been turned into a stamp. You were made
I
a...
wasn't turned into a
Well, you know what I
stamp.
mean.
We're on a stamp.
I've got
we're
you.
on a stamp.
And
There it is.
There you are. With
I'm the
hat.
fella with the guitar up in the air. Look at the hair I had. I
Fine.
didn't need a cap then.
And of course, you're made a doctor in University of Limerick. And
Yeah.
So it's all going on. And my feeling was, watching you receive all these accolades and achievements, was that it's a bit premature to be giving you all this now as if to say, oh, it was a great career. There's more of where that came from, I take it.
No, I'll tell you. See,
Go on.
I'm 72, right?
Okay.
They figure he can't last long. And if we give him these things now, he'll be making the will.
Ah, come on. That's very cynical, Liam.
Oh, well, you never know.
You're...
But excuse the voice. I got attacked by a virus down in Mexico
Mexico.
or California. I don't know where. No, it's not that I don't know where I was. I don't know where your man attacked me.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it went straight to my chest and into. I couldn't walk. Last week I couldn't walk.
Gosh, and you made it here tonight.
I'm on steroids. It's great.
They're working a treat.
Gee, I couldn't walk up the stairs before I started taking them. Now I'm like a Olympic athlete. You know?
If you stayed in California long enough, you could become governor.
Well, as long as you don't equate me with Governor of New York now.
Yeah, no. No mention of that. No, we'll keep that aside. Can I ask you about New York, though?
The hijinks would be too much for me at this stage.
Well, the stars might help you there. Let's talk about Bob Dylan for a moment, because he has given you these comments. He's made these comments about you. Do you recall meeting him the first few times when you were lads hanging out?
Oh, yeah.
And what did you make of him?
He was a young lad, came into New York. He was very innocent, seemingly. Couldn't tune a guitar worth a damn. But he was hungry. His thought processes were different from other people, you know. And he was a fidgety youth, full of curiosity, soaking up everything around him. And he was different, very, very different. We became great pals. We were courting two sisters.
Oh, yeah.
I got a call the day before yesterday from a film animator. And he wants to do an animation. He's doing some of our songs, Clancy Brothers songs. He's nothing to do with the High Kings now. This is different.
Sure.
But he wants to do a thing with Bob Dylan and I, and he was asking me about, you know, how did a young Irish fella, a young Jewish fella, get together like that? And it was very similar in many respects. I came from the small town of Carrick-on-Suir. I was born in 1935. I left in 1956. And just shortly afterwards, my town and most of Ireland would have stepped out of medieval times into the 20th century. Mm. And he was born in Hibbing, out in the plains, Minnesota. And his background would have been not that different.
Yeah.
would have been very repressed. Nothing would have changed. Orthodox Jewish family, probably, you know. I had an Orthodox Catholic family. And we all, when I say we all, my brothers, people like Dylan, people like Ginsberg, a lot of the jazz people, a lot of poets, people who were trying to escape repressed backgrounds like mine and Bob Dylan, were congregating in Greenwich Village. It was a place where you could be yourself, where you could get away from the directives of the people who went before you, the people who you loved, but you know they had blinkers on. You know?
Martin Scorsese made the program No Direction Home about Bob Dylan, and Dylan was very keen to talk about you in that and the influence you had on his career. And I just want to show you a quick clip from that. This is Bob Dylan talking about you. Have a look at this, Liam.
He robbed the rich, he helped the poor, he shot James McAvoy, and turned to Australia once.
Liam was profound. He would, besides all of his rebel songs and his acting career, he would have these incredible sayings. Like once he said to me, after about 30 pints of Guinness, he was saying, "Remember, Bob, no fear, no envy, no meanness." I said, right.
What do you suppose, what did you mean by that, no fear, no meanness?
It's a good
no
line,
envy?
isn't it?
Sure is.
I have no idea. I don't think we had 30 pints of Guinness.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to carry that much. But
Yeah.
he has a mind like a vice grip, you know, and something that you might say off the cuff like that
Sure.
would stick in his mind, and it would have totally gone by me.
You-
But I do remember the occasion. He was doing a concert in Dublin, and Bono organised, I think, a party afterwards over the Westbury, and we stayed up all night. And my wife and kids were there. They wanted to meet this great Bob Dylan, you know.
Sure.
And they were so disappointed when he came down from his room and stood at the top of the steps, and he looked around at all the adoring people waiting to meet him. And he said, "Where's Willie? Where's Willie?" And my kids were so disappointed because they thought he'd want to meet me, you know. And they didn't know who this Willie was. And of course, my brothers, when we used to hang out together, I was the youngest in the family. I was always called Willie.
You remember
And it was only on stage that I was called Liam.
Yes.
So he knew me as Willie. He spotted me at the bar, and I remember Bono listening in on our conversation for about an hour, and then he said, "Guys," he said, I got to get out of here. I'm going off to get some pizza or something." He said, "Everybody that you fellas have talked about for the last hour is dead." And it was true.
Can I bring it back to the heyday when you were really in the thick of it? I mean, it was Beatlemania in iron jumpers for you boys. I mean, you were going to hotel, you were being mobbed consistently. I mean, you had, weren't you?
It was frightening. It's something that I don't know why people want to do it. I just don't know why people seek out celebrity, because you have no life. You would have no life, you know.
What was happening to you?
Well, you couldn't go anywhere without being recognised, but also without being put upon, you know. Yeah. People used to cut pieces out of the sweaters. We're on stage one night, and I'm looking. Tommy Makem is looking down, kind of funny. He's trying to sing a song. And I looked down to see what was happening. There was a girl stealing his shoelaces. I woke up in a hotel in London one morning. And of course, it used to be all Irish girls were the maids.
Yes, chambermaids, yeah.
We had a big night the night before. We'd been playing the Royal Albert Hall and had a big party afterwards. And I woke up in the morning. And I heard this sound. Tis. Tisn't. Tis. Tisn't. And it was all the maids all around the bed. All in the room. And they, tis him. Tisn't.
That's good. And on a Friday night, I understand that the telegram would come through from one Hugh Hefner to say, would you gentlemen like to join me in the Playboy Mansion?
Yeah.
Is that the case? Did you all arrive up to the mansion?
We were under contract to the Playboy clubs for a number of years.
Okay.
And it was so soul-destroying. We had to buy... We bought the contract out eventually.
Did you?
You know, it was such a sleazy, phony life. But it wasn't just us. Even after we broke the contract, or got out of the contract,
Yeah.
Hefner would invite all the entertainers who were in Chicago on a Thursday or Friday night, whatever it was, after their shows to go to the mansion. And there'd be huge big trestle tables full of every kind of imaginable food, you know, and coats of armour down along the walls. It was all done in mock medieval style. Mm. But I used to love to go there. He had well, you went in the door and there was a champagne fountain. And they had these little champagne glasses. I remember the first time we were there, he said, we don't drink out of it. We're Irish. Tom, my brother Tom, you know. Arr, macho man. We don't drink out of those things. Get us tankards. And they did, and they kept them there for every time we went, you know, these big tankards. And we'd fill them up with the champagne fountain. But what was great about it was down at the end of the baronial hall, there was a stone cavern-like staircase. And you went down this winding stairs into the underground. And there was a huge swimming pool with an island in the middle of it and a waterfall coming down, and under the waterfall, a cave. And you could swim into the cave where people couldn't see you with a girl and things like that.
Just sorry, Liam, we actually lost you there for a minute. You want to see the twinkle in his eye this close? But you're back in the room. Back in the room. You were moving in such extraordinary circles at the time, and I want to show our viewers a little scene where you were playing for President John F. Kennedy, and this is a lovely piece of archive. I think you'll enjoy this.
Hello there. You know, there was a time in America when Irish immigrants, like the four of us here, had a sort of a rough time. That was before the... But, howsomever, this song is about some people who came and got a rather black welcome. I think all things considered, some of them didn't do too badly.
Our ship is docked in New York town, and we took our bags ashore. This was the land of the free. They said we'd see hard times no more. But when we looked for work next day, wherever we'd appear, the boss so proud would shout out loud, "We want no Irish here."
Good fun. When you look at that, Liam, I just with the see Tommy Makem and so on, and who passed away in the summertime, and
Yeah.
how were you about that? Was that a tough time for you? Or...
Well, it's always tough to be the last man standing, you know. In a way, you feel very, very lucky. But there's so many times when something comes to mind and I say, what was that fella's name? Or what was that time? Or how was the time we were down in Florida with the Playboy Club? Who was playing? And I'd pick up the phone to call Paddy or Tom or Tommy Makem.
Yeah.
And there's no one to call. You know, that's tough. But I do remember shortly after that, actually, we were down in Florida at the opening of the new Playboy Club. It was the first... No, this is not that kind of a story. It was the first club south of the Mason-Dixon line in America that was integrated, racially integrated. And it was a very big deal that black people could actually go to this club, you know, and sit at the bar with white people.
Yes.
And it turned out that the sheriff of Dade County was Irish-American, you know, toting the gun. He brought his entire posse, still called him a posse, and their wives to the show one night. And invited us out. He really made a big deal of it. He invited us out to the bar for a drink afterwards. Spotted up the drinks on the counter, and I said to him, "What do you think of this setup, you know? This first time it's been racially integrated." "Well," he said, "son, you know, there was a nigger at the bar over there. He said he wouldn't be there for long." So I took the drink that he'd ordered for me, and I leaned over the bar, and I poured it down the sink, and I turned the glass upside down on the counter, and I said, "Sheriff, I don't drink with people like you." And as I walked away, I honestly felt that I might get a bullet in the back.
Did you?
Yeah. It was a tricky time.
Can I ask you a slightly more flippant question just after a story like that? But do you guys think that you might have been the first rappers? Do you actually think you might have?
I am thinking of going back to rap again.
Do you think it's time to return to rapping?
Rap started, most people don't know this, rap started in Donegal. And we were the first exponents of it.
In what sense?
Back in 1950s. Listen to this, if this is not rap,
Okay.
what is? There was Johnny McEldew and McGee and me and a couple of 2 or 3 went on a spree one day. We had a bop or two, which we knew how to blew, and the beer and this was fluid. We all carried day. We visited McCann's, McElman's, Humpty Dance. We then went into Swans, our stomachs for the pack. We ordered out a feed. We did need. We finished with speed, but we still fell slack. Johnny McEldew turned red, white, and blue. He said, but that's a fact.
Oh, that's great. That's priceless. You know, I've been shocked very rarely on this show, but, or maybe all the time, but that really beats them. That's brilliant. You have the Liam Clancy tour starting in the local in Dungarvan on the 8th of April. You're all over Ireland, April, May and June. I'll be coming to see you in Dublin. I'm a great fan, admirer of yours. I think you should know that by this stage. And
the National Concert Hall is nearly sold out. So.
Nearly sold out. And you, of course...
And the Cork Opera House and Limerick Concert Hall.
All going on there. The Clancy Brothers Festival in Carrick-on-Shire. That should be fun too in June. June 13th to 15th. Are they all right? Ladies and gentlemen, one of our most welcome guests on Tubridy tonight, Mr. Liam Clancy.
Thank you. Thank you.